Hi, I'm Jarrod Oxendine with Oxendine Law. We are a divorce and family law firm. We've got offices in Athens and the greater Atlanta area, and we have almost 40 years of combined experience. So today we're going to talk about your path to happily ever after divorce. There's a very specific kind of silence that exists in a house where a marriage has ended, but the people haven't left yet. It's not a peaceful silence, it's heavy. It's the sound of two people walking on eggshells in a home they both paid for, but neither feels comfortable in. Most people think divorce starts with a legal filing. It doesn't. It actually starts years earlier, in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, is this it? Is this the rest of my life? At Oxendine Law, we don't just see the paperwork, we see the years of quiet desperation that brought you to our door. You've been making excuses for so long, for their temper, for their absence, for their lack of intimacy, that you've lost track of who you were before you became a professional excuse maker. In my many years as a divorce attorney, I've realized that people don't stay because they are happy. They stay because they are terrified of the unknown, which is completely understandable. You tell yourself many things. You say, it's not that bad, or he doesn't hit me, or she's a great mother, and we just don't talk. We call this the good enough trap. You are sacrificing your 30s, your 40s, maybe even your 50s at the altar of good enough, but human behavior actually suggests we are more afraid of losing what we have, even if what we have is miserable, than we are excited about what we could gain. You become a master of the waiting room. You're waiting for the kids to graduate, waiting for the bonus check, waiting for a sign. And while you wait, the resentment is growing. It's changing your DNA. It's making you a version of yourself that your children are starting to notice. And even worse, a version of yourself that you don't recognize. From a legal and strategic perspective, this waiting phase isn't neutral. It has a cost. While you are in your head, the marital estate is shifting. Assets are being spent. Debt is being accumulated. And your emotional reservoir is being drained to zero. I've sat across from hundreds of clients who said, I wish I had done this 3 years ago. Why? Because by the time they finally reached the breaking point, they weren't just seeking a divorce, they were seeking a rescue. When you lead with desperation, you make poor decisions. You give away too much just to make it stop. My role as your advocate starts now, even before the filing. It's helping you move from a state of emotional paralysis to a state of strategic readiness. We aren't just looking at your bank accounts, we are looking at your exit ramp. Every one of my clients has an until story. For example, I was fine until I saw the way he looked at our daughter with that same look of contempt he gives me, which is kind of scary when you see that happen. Or I was staying until I realized my son thought this cold, loveless house was what a normal marriage looked like. Think about that. When you can no longer find a reason to stay that outweighs the cost of losing yourself, the decision is already made. The only thing you have left is the courage to act on it. You've been a protector, you've been a provider, and a peacemaker for everyone else. This is the moment you decide to be those things for yourself. But I know what follows that realization. It's a cold, sharp panic. If I do this, where do I go? How do I tell the kids? What happens to the house? The moment you decide to choose yourself, the world feels like it's spinning and out of control. That's why in our next episode, we're going to talk about the moment everything changes, the first 48 hours after the decision, and how to protect your future when the ground starts to move beneath your feet. Again, I'm Jarrod Oxendine, and this is your first introduction to Happily Ever After Divorce.